This year's spring concert with the Bach Choir at Bethlehem is really fascinating to me, and I think it will be to audiences for a lot of reasons. The title of the concert is Bach Inspired, and what I took as the centerpiece of the concert is Bach's famous cantata Ein feste Burg, and I chose that cantata because all of the evidence that we have suggests that it was performed for the first time in the United States 200 years ago, right here in Bethlehem. So I wanted to honor that anniversary, and it's a really triumphant cantata. There's a version of it. Bach's original version doesn't include trumpets and timpani, but one of Bach's sons went back later and revised it to add trumpets and timpani. And so I wanted our spring concert to have a bit of that festive character to it initially. But then as I was thinking about, how Bach was performed here in the Valley 200 years ago, specifically this cantata, I started thinking about all the ways that Bach either drew inspiration from other composers or inspired other people to write. And so the first half of the concert actually features two cantatas by Buxtehude, which is, if you know your Bach lore, this is the composer that Bach traveled over 250 miles to see when he was relatively young and was really inspired by Buxtehude's music. So I included two cantatas by Buxtehude that are actually a lot more contemplative in nature. They are meant to be performed around the same time during Lent, so during the Passion season. So those are a lot more reflective and contemplative. But one of the other reasons I chose these cantatas is because a contemporary composer, Caroline Shaw, drew inspiration from these pieces by Buxtehude and created a brand new piece in 2016 that actually quotes the Buxtehude cantatas. So when audiences come, what they're going to hear is the composer that inspired Bach, which is Buxtehude, and then how a modern composer was also inspired by Buxtehude to create something new. So the first half of the concert features these Lenten cantatas by Buxtehude and Caroline Shaw's response to that. What you'll hear from the choir is that they're going to tackle music from the late 1600s as well as this new, very contemporary sound. But I think it's a sound that is really approachable and accessible for modern audiences. The choir is in love with this Caroline Shaw piece and with the Buxtehude, and I think if the choir loves it, then I feel really strongly that the audience will come away with the same impression. There's one other piece on the concert that I wanted to talk about that I feel is very inspired by Bach. We're opening the second half with a piece by American composer Carol Barnett. And it's actually a sort of fantasia on a sacred harp tune. And sacred harp singing, it has these roots in sort of the East Coast and the South of the United States, more as like an educational tool to teach people how to sing. But it's got these beautiful original melodies. And what Carol Barnett has done is she took this melody and, much like the opening movement of Ein feste Burg, she takes the melodic fragments and stretches them out and gives them to different members of the choir. So what you'll see is Carol Barnett using the exact same technique as what Bach uses in the opening movement of Ein feste Burg.